Alright, timestamp February 14th, 2026. Happy Valentine's Day. It's 3:45. It's 3:45-ish a.m. Been up for an hour. Something like, hey, Janus. I just let the dogs out. Me. I was starting to get a nose in places I didn't want to deal with. That's my cat. Xenidex. Sauntering off. Woke up to a hex perched above me on the couch and an acorn beneath me. The same Doctor Who episode. It's Tom Baker, Sarah Jane, Android Invasion was just starting up, and I know that they played it earlier in the day. And they also replayed Caves of Androzani with Peter Davison, Doctor Number 5 with Perry. There's some strange things going on at Roku High Command. Now we're not stuck on Tom Baker, we're just doing like the old days of HBO, playing the same movie, 4 times a day. It's back in the early days. That was a thing. HBO, it wasn't on demand, it was like broadcast TV, but it would, when they got in a new movie, they got in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, Dream Warriors, it would play at noon, they'd play something else at 2, it would play again at 4, it would play again at 6, they'd play it back to back, and then it would play again at 11 p.m. A new movie would play like 4 or 5 times, like a movie theater almost. Multiple showings per day. And they'd cycle through movies that way, giving you like Gen X, early cable perspective on things. A little history lesson for the morning. It's exciting. But if you had the basic package with like HBO, Showtime, Cinemax, was it the movie channel, TMZ? Cinemax, Showtime. I want to say there were like 5 or 6 premium movie channels. They each have 3 to 10 new movies a month. So, you had, I don't know, 20, maybe 30 new movies a month that would be showing if you could catch it at the right time. And if you really liked it, you could camp out in front of the TV and watch the same movie over and over like 3 or 4 times, maybe even 6 times a day. If it was like really hot, So I was watching a video. One of those I can't even moments. And it was talking about sci-fi movies from the 80s that didn't necessarily do well in the box office, but gained popularity on cable. And there were some things on that list, like Scanners and whatnot, that if you're a sci-fi dork, you know it. And then there was a movie called Life Force. And this tickles me just because it definitely had that, like, created by somebody that didn't understand, or might even been an AI generated video list, whatnot. But Life Force was a sci-fi horror movie that gained popularity on cable and didn't do well in theaters. And it's about a soul-sucking vampire type creature that lands on Earth and begins like feeding on the population of planet Earth. It did really well on Cinemax. I remember that. there were a lot of dudes that really liked that movie. Because here's the punchline that the lister, the AI, whatever, wasn't quite picking up on. Because I remember seeing it a few times as a 12, 13, 14-year-old. I don't remember when it came out exactly. The terrifying alien that landed on Earth was a really gorgeous brunette that, because she did not understand the culture of the world, walked around naked throughout, 25, 30, 50% of the movie. So, yeah, it did real well on late night cable because us 12 and teenage guys were going, oh yeah. Nuance that's lost on AI. Wasn't necessarily a brilliant film, from a sci-fi horror standpoint. Had some beats to it. There are reasons that it got viewership, though. I was there. I remember. Oh, I remember. Yeah, it did. It did good. It did really good, like late night on Cinemax on the weekends. I'm certain a lot of people were tuning in. Yep. I know, Janus. You don't know about that. You were too young. It did good. It did good. Good looking brunette. Very succubi like, Yeah, it did okay. I do remember it having a plot, though. It did actually have a plot. So it wasn't just boom, boom, pizza. There was more to it than that. Spent some time with my girl yesterday. She came over. Speaking of good looking, and she's a redhead, but whatever. Did some stuff shopping wise. Had 2 sales to drop off, which that's always nice. The stress, anxiety of what we're dealing with is starting to wear on her. I'm getting a little concerned. There were a couple of panic attacks. Not like running around the room hair on fire panic attacks, but shutting down, needing to decompress for a minute or two. That's not me making fun of falling out. That's awareness. We're just pretty overwhelmed with the task here, trying to scuttle George. There's a lot going on. We still got to be mom and dad to basically 2 teenagers, which is a lot. It's a lot. We picked up some good grocery stuff. I picked up a bag of apples. It just screamed, hey, get me. They were running a special on bags of Pink Ladies. It's like a 3-pound bag. And I have some sweet potatoes. I'm thinking I might chop some up and do a honey marinade and then bake them. The apples and the sweet potatoes together. I think that might be actually pretty good. It's going to be an experiment, but I think it could be yummy, especially with a honey coat kind of thing going on, like a glaze. Bag of potatoes. I picked up a whole bunch of cream of chicken and cream of mushroom soups. And I got a whole lot of fresh veg. Aldi, man. Publix may have a bigger selection, but if you're trying to pinch the nickels, sacrifice quantity, like in selection, go to Aldi. You know what I mean? Get that big old bag of carrot and celery, and you can give me squash in. That bummed me out a little bit, but because I love a good like butternut or yellow squash. Ooh, yum. I know I'm a devout carnivore, but come on, boys. Well, yeah, if you charge right towards him, he's gonna hiss at you, Stoop. Yeah. He may only have one arm, but he's gonna punch you with it. It's all right, Janus. I know. That was rather obnoxious of him to like pounce at you. Gently. Tanner. Nice. Good job. Now I got kitties. Mr. Jenks. Yes. All right. You already had yours, Tanner. Good cookie? Yeah? Yeah? You're gonna be alright, bud. Not AI. Actual three-legged cat. Alright, fellas, can I get through now? Thanks. Occasionally when I'm doling out the cookies, I just want to yell, Schnitzel! Still waking up a little bit. Watched a couple of basic videos. The shenanigans from Bondi are phenomenal. The question as to whether or not the White House is covering things up should not be a question anymore. I mean, I've known for some time that there's a lot of stuff they don't want us to know, especially the big orange guy. But the problem is we've got really wealthy, powerful people that did really awful things. And because they're wealthy and powerful, they're trying to smother the stories. Because, I mean, they are above the law in their own ways. But if the whole world knows they did some pretty despicable things, it'll make their lives difficult. And some of them did some pretty despicable things. So, you know, illegal, unlawful, and just evil. Just evil. You know, boy. You know, these are people that are the real life characters, you know, on the other side of the blowtorch from Hostel. You know, paying to play in that kind of arena. These are not good people. And some of them are calling the shots. That should scare the hell out of you. If they're willing to do those things and they're in charge, they don't care about you. They do not care about you. You know, if they'll do that kind of stuff to a 10-year-old girl, what? They care about you 20 something, 30 something, 40 something, 70 something? No, they don't. What do you got they can take from you? That's the level of their care. Do you have something they want? No? Okay, well, I'll step on you anyway. Now, I grew up around some rather rich, spoiled brats, but I don't even know that they would stoop to some of the things that I've been reading. Mm-mm. With most people, there is a line, you know. Still dealing with a little bit of infection there. I've been hitting it with the Trip B and draining it. I know that's disgusting, but if I could work up the nerve, I'd do like a hard lance on it. But I find myself a little bit more squeamish the past couple of years, because everything that's going on is kind of wearing on me too. 10 years ago, I would have just gone, you know. I still might, to be honest with you. I've got a full docket for today, which does include intermittent self-medicating on the arm. It's just been lingering for a couple months now. Gets bigger, gets smaller. Pix is like, oh my god, you gotta get that checked out. I'm like, man, my skin isn't turning black, my arm hasn't fallen off. I don't think that's a terminal issue. Exactly. Can you calm down a little bit there, Acorn? Wait. Calm down. Thanks. He's doing the cobbing, like hard grooming on Janus, and sometimes Janus lets out some little squeals here and there that make me nervous, like, hey, whoa, slow down, not so much pressure or whatever. The cats seem to like it. It's like power grooming. Very strange. But I'm going to make some kind of a chicken, like a thick chicken broth, I think. Got another bag of drumsticks in there. I think I'm gonna marinate some, yeah. I'm gonna marinate some in one of the Asian sauces and prep it for Pix to take home. She could microwave them as needed. A few, because I know she's not gonna be like, oh, I need a whole bag. She's not as big a carnivore as I am, but I could probably set her up with like 3 or 4 drumsticks. Do them in orange sauce or something like that. She'd probably dig that. Trying to keep my girl fed smart, And a good yummy chicken drumstick is a really good protein infusion. Yeah, I may do that. Do most of them in barbecue or something like that for us. Do a handful in a Japanese or Chinese marinade for her. Boil a couple, break them out, put them in a nice cream of chicken, like a nice thick soup kind of thing. Put that over some rice. Try and feed my gremlins over here. Stretch it a little bit, but also keep up, most of the food pyramid. Alex will eat Pop-Tarts all day if I let him. Trying to make sure I get like one actual meal in him a day. Good, you're awake. Here's some veg, here's 2 drumsticks. You're eating this today. You're eating this right now. Pop-Tarts and cheese sandwiches. Yeah. Yeah. I already did a rewash on the laundry. It sat yesterday. I washed it once, but if you let it sit, sometimes it gets that musty thing going on. So I'm like, let me rewash it. I added a couple towels that I found around here too. So it was a first run for them, but they'll be fine. Get them in the dryer. Still, I keep finding more and more like boxes of random clothes that I think my mom, I don't even know where she got them, but she was probably going to try and sell them at the garage sales. I'm going to launder those. Trying to make room in the garage, trying to clear out the foyer here, dining room, lanai. I'm so bored. Saturday, so I should get some eBays going. I've got lots to sell, and I'm selling things, so I need to replenish, you know. Don't waste the shelf space. Fill the hole. It's a retail thing, not a bound chicken bow wow thing. It's not the same thing. I heard you had a hole that needed filling. Yeah, eat. Have some breakfast. Quit licking the cats. I need to have some breakfast too. Probably gonna have yogurt. It's very quiet here. So, health check. Yeah, having my own bouts of panic attacks. Still feel like the phone call's coming soon, which worries me. My dad's Vietnam buddy came down. We just missed him the other day, apparently. He was at the facility where my dad is. Which, twofold weirdness there. One, he shouldn't have been allowed to get in without us being notified, but I'm glad that he was. That's kind of twofold altogether. I'm glad he got to see my dad, and I got pictures of them together, which is cool. Because my dad recognized him. Ish. It was kind of that whole, wait, are you? Oh, wow, hey, you know. But he should have recognized him on sight and not need to be introduced. So, cool, you know. It's like one of the last times I talked to him, and he was bitching to Pix about his son. I'm standing right there. And Pix is like, this is your son. And he looked at me and was like, huh? Yeah. Oh, you've gotten so big. Yeah, I stopped growing a while ago. That's alright. You know, he knows things, he remembers things, and then again, sometimes he's stuck 30, 40 years ago, what have you. Because I think he was thinking, he didn't know who Kelly was, he didn't know who Pix was. And he was thinking that I was 12 or something, you know. Time is very strange with somebody with dementia, you know what I mean? They're not, it's very whimy. I don't comprehend it, but I'm not there yet. I hope to never be there. For the record. Yes, it looks terrifying and a little exhausting. Oh yeah, I wanted to look at something. I got in a package yesterday. I'm not turning stuff on you. Okay, you're gonna forget it. Had a friend harassing me a while back. Very into watches, like the expensive watches, like the $20,000, $100,000 watches, kind of his jam. And I was like, I can't get into that. I'd much rather have, 5 pinballs than a watch like that. And he was like, well, watches are the sign of success. You gotta have a watch if you want to look successful. And it's like, oh, okay, dude. It's like successful people wear a watch. Like, well, I got my phone that tells me what time it is. No. Successful people have a watch. I was like, all right, fine. So I told him when I found the right watch, I'd get one. Somebody had this really, really cheap on the Bay of E. So it feels legit. So So I got my watch. Probably need a battery for it, so I can. There we go. So there's my success watch. It's nice though. It's got a kind of a pewter finish going on there, and of course an old friend there on the face of it. The back of it's kind of got like the back of a space capsule look going on. It's pretty cool. It may actually be like, I don't think this is ever worn. Maybe. I think it's barely worn that way. That's in beautiful shape. I think I paid like $15 for it total. Maybe 20, somewhere in there. I feel okay with my life choices. So if I ever run into that guy again, I can let him know I got my. I'll make sure I'm wearing it if I run into him. I got my watch. There you go. I'll conform a little bit, but I'm going to conform on my terms. I know that doesn't sound like conformity, right? You're right. It's not. Exactly. This is a watch club. I have to have a watch to be in it. Okay. Rolex. Martian. Actually, what is there a brand on here? The brand is Japan. It says Japan. All the best stuff comes from Japan. MOVT? MOVT? I'm not sure what that. I mean, I want to say that would be an abbreviation for like movement, but I don't think that's what they're going for. I don't actually see a brand. It definitely looks like it would be licensed, though. Yeah, but that's a QC sticker on the back. That's interesting. Makes me think it's either pretty much new. The only thing that makes me think maybe it isn't is the slight bend in the, it doesn't have an impression on the front. Usually leather bands that have been worn a lot will have like a line. So that may just have been from storage. But it'll have like a line from the actual buckle. That'd be the word. This may actually, he said it was from the 90s. This may be new from the 90s, just in storage a long time. I don't know. It amused me. And when I saw it, it reminded me of that conversation. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get my success watch on my terms. So, it's fun. And I can't figure out by the pose if he has just done like a show-stopping number or if he's in a complete state of panic. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if it's ha or if it's oh my god, you know.
Oh dear, things have gone horribly wrong.
Could be either. But he makes me happy, you know. We're doing Harry and David Butterscotch Caramel. Yeah. I got up and there was a little bit of coffee in there. This will tell you the disconnect with autism. I just put the creamer in my cup. Alex came out and like briefly camped over the coffee maker and pretty much took it down to what would be like half a cup. It's just like, really, dude? I didn't say anything. Alex, you know, did the coffee, went back, and I was like, So, I've got a sense of humor about this. I know a lot of other dads would have been like, I'm just venting quietly and giggling to you. It's like, thinking to myself, I'll go ahead and kill off that little bit and I'll make a fresh pot. How does that sound? That sounds great. Cool, I'll get right on that. You know, it's like, come on, guys. You're killing me, Smalls. Morning, Dad. I'm gonna drink your coffee. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Get to work. I'm gonna get some yogurt first, though. Yeah, that sounds good. Not hungry, but I'm hungry enough. A little something, something. I need to boil up some more eggs. I picked up some eggs yesterday. I've got a lot in the fridge, which is great. It's a great problem to have. And I gotta pull that big bag of chicken and start prepping that. Again, these are good problems to have. Yeah, Walmart has like, they're like 5 or 7 pound bags of drumsticks for like $5 or $6. So, trying to eat good on a budget, you know. Yeah. All right. Have I said too much? There's nothing more I can think of to say to you. Yeah. 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 Okay. So, yeah, hug your parents, hug your kids, and make it a great day.